Welcome to the Kelley Show Podcast, where when we do it like it's for TV. I am your host, Eric Kelley II. How y'all doing? And of course, I got my rapping ass, butterscotch in your back pocket, double, ladies and gentlemen, she will for will.
What up? She will for will, aka I forgot my intro.
Oh.
And you can take that to the bank.
It ain't been that long.
It hasn't, but I don't know. It just wasn't there.
Hey, it's okay. Even Will Smith forgets his lines.
It happens.
It does happen. So, William, how was your week?
Oh man, it was a. Hold on, I'm trying to think. When people ask me that, it's not a you thing. It's just, I think we talked about it before. This whole, granted, stuff is opening up. Pandemic time is weird. So when people say, "How was your week?" I'm thinking, "What the fuck was this week?" Overall,
nah, I understand because it blends together.
Yeah. So
there's like no separation of it because you're doing the exact same thing, and you work from home mostly.
Yeah, like 85%.
Yeah, so you just wake up, go to the next room,
right?
Go to sleep, go to the next room. Like that's a blur.
Right. That's a blur. So it's all just kind of run. But everything is good though, man. Outside is slowly opening back up. Governor Cooper, I believe that's his name, in North Carolina, he was on his future shit. He said, "Fuck it, mask off."
Mask off. He said, "It's a hot girl summer. Y'all get out there and get naked. Take it off."
So yeah, I'm good, man. I can't complain. Everything is everything, man. How are you?
I'm well. I am very well. Since the last time we've had a podcast episode, things have made a complete 180.
Okay.
So
I like how you said 180 and not 360, because some
people don't understand that, right? 360 is the same spot. It's the same. I never understood that when people be like, "Oh yeah, it went totally 360, so nothing changed."
So it went around and came back to where it was.
Yeah, nobody ever thinks of that ever, and I don't know why I think about that, and I know you would think about that. I just simply just do it because everybody else does it. But yeah, right. It's been a complete 180 since the last podcast episode. I got a promotion at my job.
Okay.
So that was exciting. What?
I said new bag alert.
New bag alert. Thank God. God knows I needed some new money. Jesus. Woo. I would start praising, but you know what? We're gonna save that for the prayer closet, as the old folks like to say.
Okay.
But no, I am the new executive producer and personality for Matt and Ramona in the mornings for the new Mix 107.9. You can catch me Monday through Fridays, 6 to 8 on your morning drives, where we're giving you the funny. It's exciting. Okay then. Like, I'm in market, I think Charlotte's market 22 now. I'm on a morning show in market 22 of the United States. That's big. Producing. 22. Those dudes. So, right now, it's only been 2 weeks since it aired and flipped. Now, I'm just trying to make sure things are tight. When I'm on the board, make sure they sound good. And number one, trying to get to know them. Number two, trying to see how I fit in, But we'll talk more about what I want to do with the topic that we had today.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I told you last time, but I got a little story to tell because I want to tell the story the last episode. We just didn't get to do the last episode.
Okay.
Now, when I tell you, when things start to change and people notice it changing and things just start to get weird, so I have 4 different hookup stories that have something kind of do with the same thing, right?
Okay.
So now Matt and Ramona have been around for 20 years in the Charlotte market. Mm-hmm. So they're big. Like people know Matt and Ramona. I had one hookup, which I mean, we've been hooking up for like damn near 3 years now. But he was like, "Oh, you're on the Matt and Ramona show." Why did he start telling me all this information about Matt and Ramona that I didn't know? Before we got naked, it was nuts. I'm just sitting there like, okay, so are we going to fuck? Is there something we're going to do? We're going to talk about my coworkers before I get some? I was like, maybe I should have mentioned it. But it was
cool. A little connection with you.
He already has. The only reason I come back is because we cool.
Okay, well, maybe, he was like, okay, this is what he's trying to show some interest in what you have going on.
Nah, yes, indeed he was, but then he started making segments for the show. And I was like, okay, whoa there. Even though 2 of them were good. If he ever hears them in the morning, that's you, buddy. I like the idea. But then Matt and Ramona had a morning show, I want to say appearance on one of their old producers' show. He now has his own TV show. Mm-hmm. And I was on there for maybe like 2 to 3 minutes because each segment was only 2 to 3 minutes, and they had me on there because I'm a part of the show now. And I had one person hit me up on Grindr saying, "Oh, saw you on TV this morning. You look so sexy. Let me go ahead and get that dick and show you what I can do." And I said, "Oh, TV giving me dick now. This is how it's going to feel." I was like, all right.
Hold on. Not to cut you off. You have the intro for the episode right there. But continue.
Oh, I do. Okay. Well, I'll make sure that happens. But yeah, I was saying, okay. But then I come to find out it's the same guy that been trying to get me for like over a year now, and I'm not with it. I don't know. He gives me a vibe where I just shouldn't, so I have it.
Okay.
I was like, well, damn, maybe another time. Then there was another one where he came over and he just asked me, "Hey, what do you do?" I said, "I'm in radio." He said, "Oh, that's cool. I do music too." "Oh, what do you do?" "I'm a rapper." "Oh, okay. That's cool. Great. I'm sure you got bars." Started rapping. Will, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. He started rapping like his life depended on it. Like he had mom's spaghetti on his sweater already type of situation. And it just...
Maybe he thought like, okay, this is my chance. This is my shot. I gotta...
8 Mile. Okay. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I thought that we can get past this. And we did eventually. But then how can I put this? He couldn't take no dick. He couldn't take no dick. I sat there for 20 minutes trying to just ease him into it and be patient. And then he said, "Oh, you're disappointing me?" No, I'm not. It's okay. It's all right. But it's time for me to go. All right. It's time for this to wrap up because I know I'm not coming. You, on the other hand, came twice and still can't take it. So, okay, time for you to go home. It's good. It's good. You're a nice guy. And he was really friendly. But before then, before he left, he said, "Hey, yo, let me rap for you before I leave."
Was it fire?
No, he started rapping and then lost all his concentration. He was like, "Man, I know this rap. I've been rapping this thing. So you spin these pre-recorded raps to me?" I said, "Okay, next time, you can pull one like Drake and just have a BlackBerry with you and call it a day, but here you are. And he just kept getting so frustrated. And I was like, all right, man, you in the middle of my yard, you rapping. We just had sex. You can't remember your lines. It's okay. And then he asked me, so what you think? What you think? I said, yeah. And he said, man, you an actor. You acting. I said, what does that even mean? He said, I can't even tell if you fake or not right now. I said, oh. I was like, thank God for being a Cancer, because we can make anything sound exciting. Okay. I said, yes.
You're an actor, Eric.
I'm an actor, clearly. But I said, yes, it was phenomenal. Great. I just
best bars I've ever heard.
Keep pushing. Okay. Keep pushing your pen.
You hit them with the, just keep grinding. You gonna make it. You gonna manifest it.
Okay. You gonna be big. And I hope he does. I hope that when I can, let's just say if he does get big and I have to retell this story, it's going to be quite exciting because it's going to be a whole different thought process, and I'm going to have to break it down while I'm saying what I'm saying now. So, hit me up, V-Lad. I got an interview for you. But yeah, so there was another story I could, I had a whole, this guy, I said whole, not whole. I didn't mean that. There's a hookup. He hit me up. He was like, it's so good to hear you in the mornings. You sound so sexy on air. That was great. I said, okay, cool. And then he started talking trash about my coworker. I said, all right, man, you guys to chill out. What is wrong with y'all? It's been a weird 2 weeks. And now that I'm old and got to wake up at 3 in the morning, I can't have sex during the week. Can't do it. You can catch me on Friday nights, Saturday nights, or Sunday before 6, or Sunday at 5 if I have a podcast episode. So anybody listening, if you want the dick, you know what to do. Don't be hitting me up at 9 o'clock because I'm dead ass asleep. Okay? My sleep mode on the iPhone is on, and I'm not answering nobody unless your name. Well, let's say this. Unless you live in this house, I'm not doing it, period. But that's my week. That's how my week has been. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been frustrating because this whole no sex thing during the week is
I figured that might be taking a toll on you.
Like, my body cannot handle it. It's not good for me. The last time I had sex, I was so sensitive. It was like that. When I tell you 2 minutes and I was up, I said, oh my God, I haven't done this since I started having sex. So I don't like this. I gotta really do something to put this energy towards something else. So here we are. But that's my week. That's Will's week. Let's get into some entertainment news real quick. Romeo Miller wants to smoke. If you haven't heard it.
Did he really say that?
He said that if Bow Wow does a versus, he can't do it with anybody else but him. And I'm confused because Bow Wow can get up there and give us 20 hits out of 5 different albums. I don't know one Romeo song by heart. I can't give you one except for ICDC College.
Romeo would have to call Percy, Silk, C. He gotta call all his dad, his uncles. He gotta call all of No Limit to fuck with Bow.
Okay, because it just doesn't make sense. And if I'm not mistaken, he said it on The Real, and I was just wondering why.
I guess because like when Romeo had first came out, there was all the comparisons between the two, but I mean, their careers went completely different paths. Like Romeo, went to college, had a TV show, which was a pretty good show.
It was.
Does movies. I
Shout
know
out.
Bow does movies and shit, but like Bow was always in music bigger. Even when Romeo was like popping, he wasn't as popping as Bow was.
Exactly. So I just don't know why he would want that. But there was a tweet saying that Bow Wow will automatically win if he said do 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 from the "Let Me Hold You Down." I said, and they're right, and they're right. There's, I don't know, and then he came back around with the video talking to Bow Wow on cell phone, talking about, yeah, we need to get up, we need to, let people know we're legends in our own right. And so people can give us our flowers before we're gone. And still the whole show, even if Bow Wow agreed to do the verses, it would be mostly him.
No, the only person Bow needs to do a verses with is Soulja Boy.
Hey, that's what I said, but nobody else thought that. Because
really? I've heard a few people say that, but I think they're the only two from that era, kind of age range that both have. I think Bow would win, but Soulja has enough hits to where, like, okay, I will watch that because I know it would be a good time.
Exactly. Because I mean, both of them are definitely leaders of the era in which they came through. So I can see how that would be a good matchup. But people were, when I said it, act like I was stupid. Like I didn't make any sense. I thought to myself, Bow Wow got plenty of hits. Soulja got plenty of hits. I know they sound different, of course. But yeah, it's enough hits for both of them to have a lot of fun and then end up with Marco, Polo, and we can call this a day. So either way, I don't, honestly, you know what? I'll take that back. Well, I guess it has to be a rapper versus a rapper. But if I was going to say somebody that was just as big as Bow Wow in the era in which they both came out in that year, 2000.
I say who I think. Go ahead, but you better.
Who you think? Nah. Who you think I'm about to say? Who you think I'm about to say?
Sierra?
Who?
Sierra?
No.
Oh.
Bow Wow has a whole 4 years on Sierra's career. I'm talking about somebody that came out in 2000 when Bow Wow hit the scene. The only person, when I say person, I mean group. B2K would be the only person that act that I see that could give Bow Wow a little like, because it would have to be a whole group to take him down.
Okay, honestly, it would have to be Omarion.
I mean,
because they gonna have to start pulling from Omarion joints after about song 9-10.
Yeah, well, no, not if you count this You Got Served soundtrack too.
Yeah, but B2K only had what, like 2 albums?
They had 2 albums, a Christmas album, and the You Got Served album. So 4. They can pull 20 hits out of that. 20 hits.
Hits?
Yeah. B2K
does not have
how huge B2K was?
Yeah, but they were huge, but it was, I'm not gonna say it was brief, but they didn't have like like Bow had like a legitimate 2000 to 06, 7.
Oh yeah, 7. Cause it had a hold on. Yeah, 7. Cause
like that.
Shorty Like Mine was 07, 06, 07. So yeah.
Like B2K they were big, but they was like maybe
they didn't have the exact longevity. Yeah. But I blame Chris.
I could see Chris Stokes.
Chris Strokes. I blame Chris Strokes. Messed up them boys, man. Just to this day, I still believe Raz B. I don't care what anybody says. I still believe that, man. There's no way he's still holding on to that without there actually being an event to go along with it. But that's a whole different podcast episode for another day. Right. But yeah, that's the only act that I think that can give Bow Wow a run for his money. And even then, it's a tough call.
No, Bow
Bow would still
I think
probably
it would have to be Omarion versus Bow, just because Omarion has a few solo hits and features.
But the thing about it is, even Omarion's solo era,
no, it's not winning.
Yeah, it's not winning. That's the thing. It's not winning. And then you put the two together, it still wouldn't win. It still wouldn't win.
I will say this. I don't think Soulja Boy would win, but Soulja Boy might be sneaky because, he produced too. So he might be able to throw a few joints that he produced in there that niggas ain't thinking about. They might give. I don't think he'd win, but I think it would be interesting because niggas would be like, "Oh, I didn't know you produced that," or you know what I'm saying?
True. So, yeah, I don't think he would sneak that in, but I mean, if he would, he would. I don't know, but we're both agreeing. You don't want the smoke with Bow Wow. Let's just leave it like that. No. Let's just leave it like that. Okay. Fat Joe calls DJ Khaled the Quincy Jones of hip hop. And he is talking out the side of his neck on that. Quincy Jones.
Okay, so I didn't actually hear the quote or how he said it, so maybe I'm missing some context. In a sense, I get what he's saying, but it's completely wrong. Like,
it's completely wrong.
Quincy could actually play instruments and compose music. Like Khaled is kind of like Puff, and granted, Diddy is great at what he did, but Diddy's not like a real producer. Like he's
Diddy is a team of producers. Diddy, I'm the name. I pay for them to be here. We made money.
Right.
Like Diddy is an executive producer. Stevie J is the one that makes the music.
Exactly.
Like, and I mean, now honestly, if you're gonna give anybody the Quincy Jones of hip hop, Stevie J, that man can play so many instruments. It's crazy. But Pharrell would be the Quincy Jones of hip hop if we're gonna be honest about that.
Yeah.
But
Fat Joe's wilding.
Fat Joe was wilding. Because granted, I get it. Oh no, you know what? I lied. No, I haven't lied, because Quincy Jones produced for everybody, and the Neptunes really had 40%. It was 30 to 40% of music on lock, and I mean in general of how much music was produced. They had 30 to 40% in the year of 2001 to 2003. That's crazy. You know how many artists they produced for, and not just in hip hop? Nuts. I didn't know. To this day, if I go through their discography, I still be surprised. I'd be like, didn't know that was a thing.
It's extensive.
It's extensive, long as hell.
Real, he be sneaking around. Like I was listening to the Moneybagg Yo album that came out a few weeks ago. Pharrell did a song on there. So like,
right.
He's still working with the younger people. Timbaland is still sneaking them out every now and then.
Right. Because for Pharrell, it took me forever to figure out that what was the song he did it for? Ape Shit. I didn't know that was a Pharrell beat. It didn't sound normally.
Oh, okay.
Like a Pharrell. It sounded real trap, but it was a part of the era with Migos and Stir Fry.
Yeah.
And because I knew instantly when I heard Stir Fry, I said, oh, that's a Neptunes track if I ever done heard one. But you just go back in the past, they just got so much stuff. Like with Fall Out Boy, I think there's a Paramore song out there. I'm not sure if anybody knows what's his name? Mayor Hawthorne. He has a couple of hits on that one. I could have sworn he had one with Jack Harlow too. I'm still trying to figure that out. But most of his mixtapes don't have any information to them. The older mixtapes.
Oh,
so, okay. Yeah, but even the one with Y'all Beezy, hella hard. I'm a rich motherfucker. I said, okay. I dig it. But yeah, Fat Joe, just talking. It's cool to hype up your friends, but don't
Fat
hype
Joe
them
kind of does that. He's one of them. And granted, I think Fat Joe's a legend. He's accomplished a lot. But
he has.
Anytime we talk about him or his friends and stuff, he gonna kind of hype it up. So I'm like,
yeah, that same thing he did to Remy Ma with the whole Nicki thing, and it didn't go nowhere. Relax. Now, granted, Remy had it all day, but that beef sizzled out in less than 24 hours, and the only reason it kept going is because Nicki replied and the actual song charted. And I was like, this is ridiculous. The person that started the beef can't even finish it. I was like, some things just aren't meant to be. And stop hyping your friends up to the point where it's suicide. You just got to know when to draw the line. Like, hey, babe, this one ain't for you. It's not good for you. I get you want it all, but step back for a second. Think about it. Let's not do that.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, two more things. Joe Budden, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this podcast, but everybody is upset. Right. Like, he fired them. Can you elaborate?
All right, so I'm gonna try to give as brief synopsis. Yeah. Because like I'm an avid listener of the Joe Budden podcast. And part of it, a lot of it's Joe's fault. A lot of shit Joe does is Joe's fault.
Exactly. So he's a self-sabotager.
I will start by saying that. But like ultimately it's kind of what happens sometimes, I guess, if you mix friends and business. And basically what Rory and Mal, who are his two former co-hosts, are saying is that they were saying they were in a partnership versus working for Joe. So they felt like, according to them, they were in a percentage-based partnership. So basically, out of the money comes in, they all split the profits. Joe, of course, gets most of the profits since it's like his thing officially.
Right.
But what they were saying is they never really received the proper accounting or whatever to know what was coming in. They didn't specifically say that they thought like Rory even came out and said he doesn't necessarily think Joe was trying to steal from them. They weren't complaining about the actual money they were making, but from what they were saying, a big part of it was, one, just it not being the transparency, and then also just the respect or whatever between, the friends, the way Joe does things versus like how you would treat things with your friends. Now, on the Joe Budden side, Joe feels like, and this is where, because I listened to Rory and Mal's response, so they had a lot of valid points, and for the most part, they wasn't like really shitting on Joe. The part where I'm confused is pretty much like Joe Budden owns like the IP for the podcast, so pretty much he's the one that has all the creative control.
Right.
He's the one that actually makes all the deals and has to, officially sign off on everything.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit confused as to why, like, if there's one person that has to say go for things to go, they're the boss. So, and I guess it's because they're friends. Like, I just don't understand from Rory and Mal's perspective, like, okay, y'all are saying on one hand, y'all are partners and y'all are mad that he made some decisions, maybe it didn't involve y'all as much or show y'all as much, but pretty much everything that's going on, like when there's no negotiations happening, Joe is doing all the negotiating, things like that for their deals and stuff like that.
But that would make sense. It's Joe Budden's podcast. Right. But what I'm saying, Joe Budden podcast.
Right. But what I'm saying is, from that perspective, y'all are employees.
Right. They are employees, are they not?
They're saying they are not employees and they are in a partnership.
Well, then the name of the podcast should be something totally different.
Okay, so that's why I'm kind of confused about what they're saying. Is like, I mean, I get y'all are friends and things, but if it's Joe's thing, if he's doing all the negotiating,
well, then Joe should be the one negotiating, and Joe will definitely be the one to get paid more. And if Joe tells you to do something, then you should probably just do it.
Right. And then in that case, again, I'm not trying to stick up for Joe because I think stuff was kind of messed up on both sides, probably.
Right.
But like I can't go to my company that I work for and say, hey, I don't think something's right. Let me see the books. They're like, you can't go to Radio One and say, hey, I need to know why y'all are spending X amount on this, and this.
Right, because it's not my company.
Right. So according to Rory and Maul, they were in their contracts, they were supposed to be granted access to do some of that. Joe was saying, no, I've made sure, y'all have always been looked out for. I've made sure y'all have always gotten what you should get paid, if not more. But because it's my company, I'm not obligated and I'm not going to show you my whole accounting for my company. Because, Joe has a whole network that he's basically building. Like he has like other podcasts he's building off. So that's kind of a lot of the discrepancy, and then just trying to really figure out, between them, like who I guess is owed the credit for the success of the podcast, or basically who should get as much credit.
Joe Buddening. Okay. For somebody that has their name on the podcast, everything falls on me. Nobody's gonna think if my podcast was to, for some reason, not exist anymore, nobody's gonna come to you or Tiff or any other guests and be like, hey, what'd you do wrong on the podcast? No, they would come to me. It's the Kelley Show Podcast. Right. That makes sense. Now, granted, I don't look at you all as employees because number one, I don't pay. Number two, it's just, we bounce off ideas with each other, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if this podcast was to be monetized at a certain point, then yeah, I would be the one to negotiate those things. Right. And I would be the one to divvy up and distribute what we agreed upon. You would get paid, which makes sense. So I'm confused about the whole thing now. The only thing, like you were saying, was the only thing wrong about it is I know Joe was an asshole to somebody. He can't help that. That man got it honest. I don't understand. I don't know. He just has so many good things going for him and things start to go well. And then it just all blows up on him out of nowhere. Oh, well, excuse me. He blows it up himself.
Joe is also one of those people, again, because of course the internet is going to run with shit because it's the internet. And granted, Joe does have a history of shit. So I'll say that. But like a lot of people on the internet don't even really that are talking about it now. People just talking because it's something to talk about. Right. Listen to the show. Like, don't even really listen to the podcast. As someone who, like, I listen to the show all the time. So it's like, even Joe has went back and said, yeah, I said some shit on air I shouldn't have said. I went too far. So he's kind of come back and said, damn, I, was a little too harsh on this. I still think I made the right decision because anybody who's been listening to the podcast kind of knows the chemistry in the podcast has been off for a while. And another reason, not to go too deep into this, but for the kind of the split is basically, they were saying there was tension behind the scenes before. And Joe and Rory were having some tension. So Joe told Rory, hey, take a few episodes.
Rory is the white man.
Right. So Joe told the white man, that's right, the black man told the white man. He told the white man, hey, take a few episodes off. It seems like you've got some stuff going on. There's tension between us. So basically he was like, hey, take a few episodes off and let's try to figure stuff out. Maul said, hey, who are you to tell Rory to take a few episodes off?
I'm Joe Budden of the Joe Budden Podcast. All right, now we're moving on. That right there sounds stupid as fuck. Who are you to tell? Exactly. Who are you to tell the person on my podcast that they need to take off? No, like if I told either you or Tiff that, hey, things aren't going well, we need to go our separate ways. You should literally just respect that and move the fuck on, because there's nothing else to talk about. It's my podcast. And now granted, if you don't agree with me, start your own. It's that simple. But there ain't no reason for that to even occur. That's stupid. Never mind. Don't even want to know no more.
And
don't even care.
Last thing I'm gonna say on that, I think kind of the biggest part of it is because, you know, they were friends before, you know, the podcasting thing happened. So I think because they were friends, some stuff probably got swept under the rug, or maybe, you know, okay, but I'll let this slide, you know, stuff like that, to where you may not want to bring it to somebody that's a friend, but then it kind of just sat and kind of festered, you know, over the years, over time, and then kind of blows up.
That's, you know what? That is the one reason I really do enjoy collaborating with you, simply because for this podcast, things don't fester because you already know when I'm pissed. You already know when I'm upset. And you just say it. You just be like, oh man, I know you was mad, bro. I know you was hot. I know you was hot. I'll be like, nigga, you know I was hot. You knew I was hot. Oh, okay, just, you know, I'm just saying, Eric. Yeah. But Eric's working on that, because Eric used to spaz, but we don't do that anymore. Therapy and Jesus, okay? The combination is like Jack and Coke. It works well for me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it works well for me. But
that sounds like something they would put on a shirt. Therapy and Jesus. It's like
therapy. Coke. Therapy and Jesus. It makes sense to me. Actually, that's a good T-shirt. It's like Jack and Coke. It is like Jack and Coke for me. Jack and Coke's my fave, so I can deal. But yeah, I can see why that would be difficult for them. But at the same time, I'll be trying to be like, okay, it's whatever. And you just be like, so you was mad, you was upset, you big mad, little mad. I'll be like, all right, well, okay, bro. All right.
Like, come on, Eric, let's record, man. Get out your feelings.
All right. Yeah, definitely today. So, because when you said, I said, okay, all right, well, I'm gonna walk my happy ass back downstairs and we're gonna do this here podcast. And here we are to these people. So I appreciate that. No problem. Because you have an excellent way of saying something without saying something. It's a very cancerous trait, and I catch it. And I enjoy it. But last but not least, before we get out of here, and I don't want to talk too much about it, because I know people going to make their comparisons, which makes no sense to me why they are. Friday, new music drop. First off, Straightening, Migos. Yay. Whoop-de-doo. They're not going to make a very good comeback, I don't think, from that. So
I fuck with. Honestly, I think that song, not to get too deep into it, that song they had with YoungBoy last year
was fire. What? The Get in My Car sample was like, This should have hit. It should have hit so hard. It should have hit so hard. And YoungBoy was just skating.
Yeah, they was going in on that.
They was going in. And it did not catch. And I think
COVID had a lot to do with it. You know, a lot of that, how we kind of talked about with the Usher shit, the bad habit. It's like certain shit.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about it is now Usher the song isn't catching heat on where we would find music in our age bracket as far as like radio goes. But the song is a total smash for anybody 40 and up. Like the R&B station we got, it's a power.
Okay.
It's on every hour of the hour.
Okay.
But it's not even played on 92.7 because it don't hit with anybody from 12 to 38.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's it. But the thing about it was the Migos, no matter what they put out, should always hit in that bracket. And it didn't, and it surprised me. Because I was like, damn, this goes so hard. Even if you don't know that this is a 50 Cent sample, it should be there. Now, Straightening, I don't know if it's gonna hit, but I guess we'll find out.
Like, I don't think it's necessarily gonna be. I think it's one of them. You put it out before you put out the one you really want to put out. If you get what I'm
Right.
saying, like, okay, boom,
It's one of those
warm it up.
joints. Okay. Okay. Hopefully, but I'm just so used to them coming out the gate hot, like hellhound hot. They don't play.
That's true.
You know, since Versace, they haven't missed. And that's a very long career to not miss anything. So I was just expecting a tad bit more sauce on it, but you might be right. Maybe they just coming up with a different strategy. Speaking of different strategies, Nicki Minaj, she said, the girls still ain't doing it like I'm doing it. So I'm gonna put out some old shit and let that shit ride. So Beam Me Up, Scotty is finally on all streaming services. Thank God, because trying to find itty bitty piggy on anything is so hard. So hard. Because I'll be in a mood. I'll be want to be on a plane with Dwayne. I'll be wanting to be called Hillary. I'll go to Hill, Maine. Listen, I'm the baddest. I see. I can go on.
I knew you was hyped about it. I knew you was
hype. And then because it was, I know she added 6 songs, 6 new songs to it, but 2 out of the 6 aren't new, number one. And then the 4 that were new, Seeing Green, fabulous. Wayne sounded like 08 Wayne.
Sounded like old Wayne.
Sounded like old Wayne. I said, damn, y'all really gonna put him first? I was like,
I'm gonna be nitpicky. I didn't love Nicki's flow on Seeing Green.
I didn't either. I like the
good.
lyrics, but the flow, I was hoping she was gonna go to. I was hoping she was gonna mimic Wayne, because anytime she does kind of like the Nicki F baby type of flow, always bomb. But she just slowed it down. And I said, I know you want every bar articulated, but I wanted the punchlines. I wanted
maybe if she had went first and then Wayne comes in, but it's like the way Wayne was skating and then Nicki kind of slow. It's like,
nah, that record really showed why Wayne's the boss. Because the way that it should have went for me, it should have went Nicki, Drake, Wayne.
Yeah, ultimately.
Because Wayne blitzed.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne was like, I'm tired of my youngins thinking they got something on me. Granted, we the big 3, but there's a reason why I'm number one.
Big of the big 3.
Okay, that's big of the big 3. That's the big homie. That's the OG. Oh, and I said, damn, Wayne ain't fucking playing today. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he snapped.
Okay, but I'm not mad at Nicki either. I still think she brought heat, and I ain't mad at Drake, because you know his little interlude with "You get paid to be dramatic, y'all some real drama queens." I said, okay. I said, all right, but yeah, he did his thing too. But they ain't have nothing on Wayne.
I like that Fractions joint that was on.
The Fraction joints is hot.
I like Fractions.
The Fraction joints is hot. There's a lot of punchlines in that too. So is it Fractions where she says, well, I'm trying to get a meal, jiggle who, jiggle what?
Yeah, I think that's
and I tell you, instantly I said, a meal. The rapper. I said, oh, Nicki back at it again. But I know that went over so many people's heads.
We're not gonna catch that.
Didn't catch it. And then when I went on Twitter, when somebody broke the line down, the reactions, they said, damn, Nicki really do this. Indeed. Like, ain't no shade to the other girls. You're just not Nicki Minaj. And that's okay. You can all still live in the same space. Just know your place. That's all we ask.
What do you, real quick, what do you think about people saying there may have been some subtle shots on the, I think it was Seeing Green. There may have been some subtle shots at another current female artist.
I didn't catch it.
I mean, it could.
Who do you think it was? Honestly, truly, I and then I went back and I said I still don't get where, but okay.
People were saying, and of course, it could just be Twitter being Twitter, but she may have been taking some shots at Meg with the whole you claim you hot or claim you the hottest, but we gonna see something like that. and then it was a line where she had mentioned something about being an alcoholic or something like that. And of course, that could just be Twitter reaching. I just want
that's Twitter reaching, because I don't know. Nicki already done gave her blessing for Meg. I don't understand why she would, number one, renege on that, because there's never been any beef. Number two, Megan just seems to be a really good person, hence why all the gifts of God have been given to her. I mean, the only Infinity Stone she hasn't got on a track is Jay-Z himself. So I don't think that was a shot towards Meg. Twitter is making it bigger than what it was, the same way they made it with her and Cardi, because that was the media before it even got to those two getting at each other's throats. And I still don't like it, because I know people, and I know you one of them, that thinks I'm a Cardi B hater. I'm not a Cardi B hater. I just don't like it when people try to make comparisons between the two when they're totally different, and one does something totally different than the other. It's like I don't have to tear down Nicki Minaj in order to be a Cardi B fan, and I don't have to tear down Cardi B in order to be a fan of Nicki Minaj. Right. It just doesn't make sense to me. But speaking of somebody that nobody hates, at least I don't think so, Jermaine Cole.
No name.
Okay. Oh, that man. The first voice you hear on the album is Cameron. Damn. I said, it's like butter to a pan. It just sizzles. I said, all right, the rest of the album gonna be hot. I ain't even if I didn't listen to it, I was just like, okay, we know this gonna be fire. But he dropped the off season, and it was phenomenal. I still have to go back and listen to it and really dissect it all, because it's one of the few albums that in a while that I've listened to that I have to sit down and give it my all. Right. So I'm excited about that because there isn't too many albums where I have to sit down and go back and try to find these lines and think about this and how it connects to that. So giving me something to think about, really provoking what's up here, that's what he's good at, and I'm glad he is. Now, the only thing is about it all is that people are comparing Nicki and Cole for some reason. And I don't understand why. I get they both dropped on the same day, but it's just two different lanes.
Yeah.
Like I don't compare Drake and Nicki. I don't know why I would compare Cole and Nicki. I mean, it doesn't matter what day they dropped on. It's just,
and there's just no need to compare. Like, that's an old project for Nicki and a couple new songs, but it's not.
Thank you.
Putting current material versus current material, but I don't know.
So I got a story. Tell me why our good friend and closer of the podcast, Tiff, called me and said, hey, when we doing the podcast? I'm in Target. I got her on FaceTime. I don't know. Got a new job, trying to figure it out. You know, Will got shit to do. I got shit to do. We just trying to get it together. And she's like, okay, just want to let you know, Cole's album was better than Nicki Minaj's album. Tiff, what? She said, I like Cole's album better than Nicki Minaj's album. I said, first of all, it's not an album, it's a mixtape. And second of all, that mixtape's been out for damn near 12 years. She said, well, for somebody that doesn't listen to music like that, I said, how did you miss that? I know you know the words Itty Bitty Piggy. Everybody does. There's just no way you're going to tell me you missed Beam Me Up Scotty. Beam Me Up Scotty?
But it kind of, because one, Tiff isn't like super into music, and then two, Tiff is a little bit older than us, so I don't know if Nicki, like I know like our age range, you know, Nicki is kind of like dominant, but I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like that might be like a little bit past when Tiff would have been more like listening. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. But either way, I had to tell her, I was like, they can both exist in the world. You don't have to call me to tell me that you like one and not the other. You can just tell me, hey, I like Cole's album, and that can be it. We can celebrate Cole and what he has to say, because he should be celebrated. Yeah, even if you don't like Nicki.
And then this is like, I know it's still early, so I got to give it time, but like, this is probably like the most easy to listen to project Cole has put out, in my opinion, in the sense that like he kind of has a balance between, there is still some stuff to make you think, but then he's got some stuff that you can just kind of ride to and enjoy without really dissecting, where a lot of his other projects you got to kind of think more, which I'm not mad at that kind of music, but me
I
personally,
really thought 2014 was really easy to digest, to be honest.
yeah, but I'm saying like even the like at least to me, the production on this was a lot better than his other albums. So it's like you could
Really?
not. Okay, again.
No. I'm not saying, excuse me, I'm not saying really like I disagree.
Yeah.
I am surprised that you being Will are saying that. Continue to elaborate. My bad.
Like, okay, I don't think J. Cole is a bad producer. And granted, I'm not big on New York sounding kind of beats a lot of the time. But I feel like as someone who started listening to Cole in like '09, like warm-up era, like, because he does a lot of his own production, that sound can get kind of redundant sometimes. So like to me, to hear him like work with outside producers, it kind of gave this, especially like I think Boy Wonder did the first song. Timbaland had the second or third Timbaland did production on, and then he worked with T Minus more, who he's been working with. But I think it kind of added like a fresh. It kind of made J. Cole sound a little bit more current versus J. Cole's had some other stuff that, to me, I'm not gonna say it sound old, but it didn't kind of fit with what's going on. But like I think on this album, he's got some shit that it still sounds like Cole, but it's got that kind of bounce to where like if you're not a Cole fan, like if
you would still get a tad bit hooked on,
just because you could just listen, like, okay, this just kind of riding versus like some of the other Cole stuff. It's more, kind of at one kind of feel, and you know what I'm saying. So I just think,
nah, I totally understand where you're coming from, and yes, this album does sound more current simply because Cole has never his sound has never been in place of what's going on. Right. But that is the one reason I've always enjoyed his music, because it's always on the left side of things instead of right in the middle or just with it. It never kind of goes away. He definitely has in my opinion, he definitely has a Missy Elliott approach to things, because Missy, the same way in her era, she never sounded the same like everybody else. It was always left. But
I get what you're saying, but to me, Missy also, because Missy also had Timbaland, who she was working with. True. And Missy, the artistry was always there. And it was more of a futuristic kind of thing. Like to me with Cole, it's like sometimes I think because he was doing a lot of the production, the artistry at times, and I get Cole's a rapper's rapper, but like the artistry sometimes or the lyrics at times weren't where they could have been versus, okay, boom, I got some people coming in to help produce. So now I can really focus on, True. Really the bars or just creating like better quote unquote songs, if you get what I'm saying.
I definitely do.
Like, because if you remember when Cole first came out, like mainstream, like that sideline story era, he was even struggling to figure out how to even make a single. Like, even with the workout, which it worked, but workout was kind of at first, and then he had the Can't Get Enough, which worked, but like that's not one you just gotta ever hear again.
Yeah, but I mean, when I do hear it, I'm like, okay, I see your point, but yeah, his first album didn't really slap. So
okay, I do like the first album. I will say that
I like the first album. I just thought the second one was better.
Born Sinner?
I definitely think he progressed as an artist from there to there.
Okay, never mind.
You're gonna disagree, and that's fine. That's okay.
No,
That's
just,
okay.
maybe it's just me, or because the album is very long. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just not a Born Center fan. I'm not saying it's a bad album, but it's a long album. It just no funny shit. It's put me to sleep before trying to listen.
Wow. See, shout outs to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jonah Hill. Y'all put my mans to sleep. Oh, you really did go to sleep. You didn't get to that part of the album, did you?
I've heard the whole album, but I'd have to go back and like.
That was just a shout out at the end of the album.
Oh, see, I didn't.
Where he was like, I don't even know them niggas.
Okay, I remember that, but that like I don't revisit that album. Even when I listen to Cole, I don't go back to Born Center too much, other than like a couple.
Gotcha. Well, let's get into our topic today, because just like everybody we talked about on this podcast, from Joe Budden to DJ Khaled, Fat Joe, Nicki Minaj, and Cole himself, they've all had one thing in common, and that is an unwavering faith that creates their path and creates who they are and who they want to be today. That's called manifestation. Okay? Manifestation is so important. It's so important. And we've already had a podcast episode about manifestation here. And I think it was great. I was re-listening to it, and the things that I was saying on the podcast, the things that I want to do, I wanted to do a part 2 for it, because I'm being reassured that these things are still supposed to be happening. I have an unwavering faith and optimism that it just has such a clean aura, in my opinion. I don't know about nobody else and what they think about me, but for me, it's a clean aura, and I attract those things, and those things are coming to me. So I really wanted to focus on a few things when it comes to manifestation and see how you really do with it, because these are things that I do when manifesting things. So when I was listening to the episode, the part 1, I mean, it's not part 1, we're just making a part 2. I was really saying that the end game is to be a nationally syndicated talk show host. And the one thing that I do as far as manifestation goes is I practice manifestation every single day. And here's how I practice. I practice by meditating. I practice by having that reoccurring thought every day. I daydream about it. I say it out loud. I tell somebody. Those are the 3 things that I do in my head or outside of my head. So how do you practice manifestation?
Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a different, I guess, take on this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I could get better at practicing manifestation. I do it like to an extent, like I have goals and shit like that. I've been doing vision boards for the past few years. I guess my main thing is always just trying to put the work in. Like, so I think I can get better as far as like, vocally, reassuring myself or things like that. But to me, like, I'm just always big on like putting the work in and then, letting the chips fall where they fall, because I feel like, sometimes you can end up somewhere in life that you don't really expect to be. And that can be a good or a bad thing. But ultimately, like, for me, like my main thing is just trying to always be whatever I'm doing, trying to be consistent in it, and seeing where that can take me. And even if, say, I try something and it doesn't pan out the way I want it to, just taking that lesson from it and saying, okay, boom, this is how I can apply this. So I know that's not necessarily manifestation, but that's kind
of okay. And I'm not correcting you in any manner, but that is manifestation.
Okay.
Because you have a goal, you do the work. And I'm not saying that what I do is not doing the work, because I do the work. I'm not worried about the work. I don't talk about the work because everybody sees what I'm doing. You can listen to me on the radio. I have a podcast. I dress well. I'm creative. People know this. It's not like I'm hiding those things.
Right.
You know the work. I don't have to talk about the work because it's there. But when you are doing the work, you are manifesting that thing. You have an unwavering faith in that work for that to work out. And when you don't, when you let the chips fall, there's no way that you just let them fall and have no expectations of them to where they are going to fall.
Yeah,
that's why you do the work.
Yeah, I'm not saying just, okay, boom, I'm gonna settle for whatever, but just, being open, like you, for example, you may not have expected to be like producing a morning show. You know what I'm
Definitely
saying?
Not.
But
Definitely
because
not.
You put the work in, like sometimes an opportunity is just gonna be in front of you, and it may not be the opportunity that you're expecting it or that you were preparing for. But when an opportunity comes, sometimes you got to take it, even if it isn't what you had prepared for, because sometimes instead of, you preparing for something, the opportunity may prepare you for something even better than you're anticipating.
Exactly. And so when it comes to manifestation, I know people want something very, when you are trying to manifest anything, is in my opinion and observation that you should be very specific. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when something comes your way that's unexpected, but you can feel whether you need it or not. You just got to trust that. Because sometimes God's giving you a whole different path than what you thought you should have been on. Right. So what you're manifesting might not be the exact thing that you thought was going to be happening.
Right.
But when that thing comes about, know what it is, feel it, and then go with that thing. Don't let your first thought get away because you think your second thought, should be in the driver's seat. Sometimes our first thought is that thought that is always right. And that's another thing with manifestation that comes with it. You have to trust you.
Right.
Now, we're all human and we all do doubt, of course, but I tell people, and I try to now take my own advice. You cannot worry and pray and or manifest or whatever it is that you do. That can't be in the same space. You can't thrive and have fear of thriving in the same space.
Right.
Now, granted, it happens, of course, but you got to know, okay, I got to practice to let it go. Some people are born with, I got fears, but I don't give a damn about them.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just you have to because fear is always going to be there. Anytime It's something new or that it's unexpected, it's going to be some type of fear or nervousness that comes, but I feel like you have to learn to kind of navigate through the fear. Like, okay, yeah, I'm afraid or I'm nervous, but I'm going to do this anyway versus, letting that fear be something that holds you back. Cause I feel like when you really start to like mess up, is like, you get so scared, or sometimes like me, because like I'm a critical thinker, I'll have what they call like paralysis by analysis. So I'll overanalyze it to the point where I don't move. So I've like just trying to work, or I've been working on just, okay, boom, I feel like this popped up. This is the best way I can handle it. So I'm going to, go forward, even though I'm nervous, and then just be willing to continue to learn as I go.
See, that's something we have in common. The paralysis, I had, to this day, I still have it so bad. And granted, people don't think that I had that because they're just like, you're so outgoing. No, sometimes I still have the same fears and doubts, and sometimes it does freeze me. Like there'll be like certain days I have it all planned out. I got nothing to do today. Okay, we're gonna create this content, this and this and this and this and that, and then I get to my head trying to figure out timing and how long is it gonna take me to do this? How long is it gonna take me to do that? And by the time I thought about it all, I woke up at 6 a.m. and now it's 6 p.m. and I ain't did nothing. So you just have to practice moving around and, just jump into it. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's wrong, expect things to not to be perfect. Expect to fail and, and take those. A really big thing that an old boss of mine from Olive Garden, shout outs to Brenda, she gave me a piece of advice one time about selling add-ons at the restaurant. And who knew that this piece of advice I would just add to my life? It's not about the no's, it's about the yeses. So I can get 1,000 no's. I wanted that chair over at 92.7 The Block so badly. Okay. I want to be that guy. I want to be 2 to 7 every single day, cracking over that mic. I wanted my friends to be proud of something, knowing that I've been working 4 years or something. I got turned down 4 different times. And on the 4th one, I said, you know what? This is not meant for you. It's not yours. But that's okay. Because number one, it doesn't stop the work. It never stops the work. I can get a no, but eventually I'm going to get a yes from somebody. Somebody's going to give me a yes. So I said, okay, it's great. Whoever the new person is, tell him hit me up. We can always collaborate on something if he needs help with something, or let's just do that. Mm. And then me and my unwavering faith, somehow, some way, boom, I'm an executive producer of a morning show of 2 individuals that have been in the radio industry for 20 years. Like, most of Charlotte, North Carolina knows who Matt and Ramona is.
Right.
And I, Eric Kelley II, that's only been in radio for 5 years, gets to talk with them in the morning. Crazy. So always never let your fear totally paralyze you, and don't let no's take you to a place where you just can't seem to get back from. If it's not meant for you, it's just not meant for you. It doesn't mean you got passed up. It just means that place wasn't yours, and there's another place being prepared for you. You got to remember that. There's always a room for you. You just got to knock on the right door. That's all. That's it. It's I know that's the old saying, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because some of my friends, especially one time, I had a friend tell me, we all can't have our dream job, Eric. And I just thought to myself, you don't know what I went through to get that dream job. I was so broke, interning for free at that radio station. I wasn't even interning. I was shadowing. Had to give up my Friday and Saturday nights at a restaurant, which is the biggest nights for tips, to make no money, struggling, eating whatever I had in there for weeks on end, 3 months, and finally got a job to do what? Push buttons. But I just, when you know.
But okay, not to be devil's advocate, I do kind of agree with that everybody's not gonna have their dream job. But
that's the thing. Everybody can have their dream job. Because maybe you just dreaming of the wrong thing. Sometimes.
Okay, so
I know. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe the thing that you think you need and that you want just isn't that. And then when you bump into the right thing, you're just all of a sudden you're just like, this was it the whole time. So
that makes sense.
Yes, I am not saying what you dream of is wrong. What I'm saying is sometimes
no, that's what you said. You might be dreaming of the
wrong thing. What I'm saying is dreaming of the wrong thing isn't wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's not a wrong thing to dream of the wrong thing, but be open. And that was one of my things here. Try new things to complement that goal, that thing you want to manifest, because the thing you want to manifest, granted, I want to be a nationally syndicated talk show host. Now, I manifest that. I talk to people about it all the time, say it out loud. Again, think it, dream it. I hope it comes true. If it doesn't, will I be okay? Yes, because I know that I'm practicing other things around that to complement that thing. And if one of those things are complementing it, what if that thing is the thing that I need to be doing anyway?
Right. And I think that's a big thing too. Granted, we all, do want to have a quote unquote dream job, or at least do something we enjoy, because we spend a lot of time, especially of our waking hours and everything at our jobs. But at the same time, the same way the job uses you to get tasks done, I think, no matter what your job is, there's something that you can learn from it. Like even when I used to work at like Panera Bread a few years ago, or working in retail, like it might just be customer service skills, or me learning, okay, boom, this is how you deal with people. Like it's things that you can learn, from your job that you may be able to take either into another job, or you may just have like a 9 to 5 that you like, and then okay, boom, I'm gonna use this job to fund my life, and then okay, boom, I got a hobby over here. Because like, I have friends, like obviously, I do the like music thing as a hobby or whatever, or I'm not gonna say it like that, like I do music, like I produce things like that, like as a hobby. I have my job that obviously funds my life. But
try that one more time. Say it like you mean it. Okay, we're talking about manifestation, and you over here half-assing what you really want to be doing.
I got to work on it.
And what do you think we're doing right now?
So aside from my professional job, my 9 to 5, I am an artist as well as a producer, as well as working on engineering. So basically, I do a lot of musical shit.
You do a lot of musical shit, and guess what? You're fucking good at it. You're fucking good at it.
Hey, don't be doing me like you did old buddy.
Chill out, because it's not like you don't have a whole intro to our whole podcast. True. I ain't hyping you up. Proof is in the pudding. When people hear the intro, oh my God, she will. Don't act like that. That shit still go hard. It's gonna be a classic. One of these days, people gonna know it's gonna be a classic. Because when I tell you, I plan on never, I don't care where this podcast goes, I never plan on changing that intro. That intro is perfect to me. It's like a 90s sitcom thing, and people will recognize it.
Okay.
But that's you. That's you. Right. I asked you for something, and you produced it.
But okay, I said all that to say, like, sometimes the shit that's your dream isn't necessarily something you want to do as a job. Like,
right.
For example, the more I learn about the music industry, like, if I had an opportunity to do it, yeah, I would, because, fuck it, everybody doesn't get that chance. But the more you learn, because a lot of times when people think of their dream job, they don't think of the business aspect of the job. They think of the fun part or the main part, but not the behind the scenes. Like I have friends who do like artwork, things like that, like painting. And some of them, through COVID, started doing their artwork full time because it's something they enjoy.
Right.
And they started saying, I liked when I was able to have the creativity with this or the freedom with this, but once it became a job, it was no longer fun. So, sometimes it's okay to have a job that's just a job, or it's
just job
foundation, and still, live your dream out in other ways. Like it doesn't have to be something to where you're putting everything into your job.
Perfect. Because as someone that their dream is their job, when people come to me about that, I'm just like, you can be doing what you want to do and how you want to do it. There are no rules to this. And whose rules you're following, break them. Make your own. You have to create your own universe and give it to the universe and let it bring it back to you. Because that's the only way you're ever going to be happy. It's the only way you're ever going to be happy. And that is one of the biggest parts of manifestation. If you think being a negative Nancy, talking down about yourself, talking negatively about yourself, or speaking down to you is ever going to get you anywhere, no. None of that can be in the space of manifesting anything. And I have to practice that. When I tell you even the simplest things, like when you misplace something, you be like, damn, dumbass, get that up. Nope. I always correct myself. You are not a dumbass, Eric. You misplaced something. It is simply just your job to pick it up and put it where it needs to be. Practice positivity with it. So you got a great point. Like it is okay to live by your rules. That is perfectly fine. If you don't want if you don't want your dream and your thing that you think is going to make you the most magnificent person in the world to make you money, well, then don't let it make you money.
Right, it doesn't.
Let it make you happy. Let it make you happy. Manifest that, because that is perfectly fine. And anybody that says it's not their life. They don't have to answer to anybody. They don't pay your bills. They don't wipe your ass, and they definitely don't come where you do. So it does not matter. Living by other people's rules, fuck that.
Right.
I mean that.
Did you see the movie Soul on Disney Plus?
I did.
I think that kind of goes kind of perfect with this topic because, the whole theme of that movie was the guy, basically, he died chasing his dream. But he was like, I ain't gonna say he was depressed, but he was like real frustrated and mad because he was like, later in life.
You do remember I don't like that movie, right?
Oh, no. Have we talked about this before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I really can't stand Disney when they always have to alternate the black character in order to make things happen. It makes no sense to me. Like, he dies, he has to be a spirit, and then when he comes back, he's a cat. He's not even him. And then there's this white woman, Tina Fey, that's him most of the movie.
Oh, the great white woman.
It's just like, why can't that black man be the black man through the entire film? Why couldn't Tiana have been why she got to be a frog 95% of the movie? They do it every single time. If Snow White can eat an apple and almost die and still be the same, if Aurora can just sleep, damn it, and still be white and blonde and blue-eyed, why can't we?
Okay. True enough.
But I get your point. I'm sorry. I'm ranting.
What I was saying is like...
Yes, my bad. Excuse me.
Eric and I we're still young adults. We're still learning this shit every day. But ultimately, you have to enjoy your life you have to find things in life you can enjoy. Because ultimately, none of us know how shit is going to go from day in to day out. You just have to take things how they come, make the best of them. And, you got to kind of find, it's going to sound cliche, but I feel like you got to find some kind of inner security or inner happiness, because even if shit turns out great, it may not be the great that you expected. So sometimes you have to be willing to say, okay, hey, this isn't exactly what I expected, but you know what? I like this. This works for me. I enjoy, you know what I'm saying? So just because things don't go the way you plan don't mean that, they shouldn't keep going.
And that, in a sense, is exactly what we want you all to get from this podcast today. Manifestation has a lot of ways to go with it. Well, now, what we have mentioned in this podcast might not be for you. You might have a totally different way of manifesting what you want and how you want it. But the common denominator between it all is you have to go get it. You have to create your own space in order to make these things happen. And you got to have faith that they will. And that's all there is to it. So if you got, let's say, not to be making this like an advice hotline, of course, but I feel like me and Will have a pretty good grasp of what we want to do, how we want to do it, and we're still practicing it. So if you're struggling, trying to make things happen for you and you just want to hit one of us up, please do. We are here for it. We try to make things happen. And I feel like good energy met with good energy can only continue to spread. So let this manifestation rub off on you. But that's the Kelley Show podcast for tonight. We thank everybody for listening. Go like, subscribe, comment, share, do all of that for us because it's the Kelley Show podcast and we love you. You can follow us at the Kelley Show Pod. It's TheKelleyShowPod on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at The Kelley Show. That's TheKelleyShow. Will, where can they find you?
She Will for Will everywhere.
And it's as simple as that. All right. Make sure you manifest your dreams no matter what they are. Do that for us. All right. We love y'all. Peace. And we out.